Okay. The big thing doing with noise in front. Hello, Angeli. Blocks. I wanted to check your game yesterday and then I went hiking. Climbed a mountain. I'm living in Canada. There's a place called Saguenay, and it's like nature everywhere here. Actually, what I wanted to test was that. Okay. Huh. I guess I have some bound checkings then. Huh. 50. 4,000 is there, okay. Okay, yesterday I shied away from doing folders. I think I'm gonna do them anyway now. I'm gonna try to reorganize the whole project. UI system. Okay, let's add new folder, UI system. In that I can add an existing why do you put a fake birthday? Can I already rebuild that, or is that gonna glitch? Okay, that's only there. Oh, it succeeded, nice. QI system. Okay, that's good. Okay, why stop there, I guess, if I'm going to do this. I think it's time to just put start doing some housekeeping. Grove system. I have 6 in here, 5 in here. Grove Pathfinder. This is gonna hide a lot of files, so that's kind of nice. Do I leave everything else as is for now? Is it working? The bot? So it controls your little guy on the screen? Because I didn't work on that for like over a year. So I'm surprised it's still working. This is part of my growth system. Oh nice, I can just do that now. What's going on? Proxy seed is also part of it. Hey, yeah, no rush on that. How old are you, by the way? Ah. If you say young, I'm guessing you're a minor. Hey, Duxelic. Very young, but not young. I'll give you 16. 17 maybe. Maybe younger. Older or younger? Younger? 14? $11? You're starting pretty early for gaming, for making games. Do you already know a programming language? Yeah. I mean, there's no age to start something. I think I was like 5 years old and I was already modding games. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. I don't lie, I'm not sure if I forgot to comment some stuff. Okay, whatever. That's like gonna be a side effect. It kind of sucks, but... Yeah, we get exposed to coding a lot earlier now. Let's go see what I was modding. I'm not sure if that was the game or if there was another one even before that, but one that I remember clearly was Icy Tower. I'm not sure when that game got created. Okay, that one was 2001. So I must have been like 8 years old then for this one. What were the other games? So in this one, I remember going into the data files of the game and then modifying the guy to change the look of the like main character. Yeah. Fun little game. No, I didn't make that game. I downloaded it and played it. That's what I did. Close, close, close. Yeah, I did that too. Like, my sister had something like something electronic. It was like pink or something. I remember taking it all apart and then working like the whole night fixing it, putting it back together. And I did that later with a radio, like a big boom box. Yeah, exactly that. I remember taking these sort of things apart. Like all the pieces undone, all laying around. And then putting it back together. Same with like different computers. Wow, that's so smart. Removing the one chip that makes noise. If it's annoying, at least. How many computers? My first computer was... which one was it? It was like... really old. I forgot. There was like one floppy disk with like a drawing program on it. And it also came with a printer. So I could draw and then print my things. And the paper had like weird holes on the side. Yeah, I probably can find it. Paper on both sides. Yeah, these paper. No, I don't think I can show you. Unless you're talking about my current computer. Yeah, this is what I had. A computer that could print with a printer that printed on these sort of sheets. And then there was like some sort of paint program. I could ask my dad and he'd be able to tell me. Okay, what am I doing? Map editor. The setup. This is what I have. Those are all the parts. Oh, they don't sell much of them anymore, those parts. Yeah, so it's like the link is in the No, this is 1. The link is below in the stream descriptions. Yeah, this. So it's 970. All of me, and I don't know the others. Do you play an instrument? Drums are hard. I did. Donation should appear on the screen. I'll be waiting. I might just want to put a maximum and minimum so that I can't go below 0. Screen to timeline. Window left divided by ratio width. Dun, 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 dun. Now it stops at 4,000 It doesn't go further than that, so that's good. Feels better already. Okay. So now I have the concept of my timeline, that's good. Hello, Kilua the King, welcome back. Did you upgrade your internet? Or it was an easy problem to fix? Oh, from phone to PC, yeah, okay, that's gonna do it, yeah. Okay, timeline. Now, I want to create the concept of a button. Oh, I've already coded that, right? Oh no, okay, get left. It's hard coded, yeah. I mean, that's fine. I think I'm gonna have to create something. Vector offset. Okay, they just create a new one. Okay, so for now this is not really used. It will be eventually. So child, public, u element, parent. What? Huh. Wait, I didn't know that was possible. So declaring this, they need to declare it too? I didn't know that. I mean, that's what I wanted, but I didn't think that was possible. What's the error? There's no argument that... Hello, Alvaro. Long time no see. Yeah, me too. Over the years, this is the best I've found. There is no argument that corresponds to the required formal parameter. What does that mean? Actually, this is Vim. If you notice, right now I'm in normal mode. I can be in insert mode. Yeah, so I can like copy lines. Undo. Yeah, so this is Vim. It's just that you're not used to seeing it there, I guess. Well, in this case, this plugin is like pretty much spot on. There's barely any mistakes. I really don't understand this error, so I'm gonna have to search it. What does that mean? Simple code. Yeah, I have the exact same error. Is a bit has no parameter less. Huh. Okay, I don't understand this then. How much did it cost? I think 70 euros. But I bought this 7 years ago, I think, or 6 years ago. Now this is interesting. Okay, I'm gonna do this just for the test. String random. And then you're gonna console.write random. Yeah, there are PMs, but I don't think this is the type of project you are thinking about. Nothing. Why is left not a mistake? Because I didn't change it yet. Okay, obviously this is not gonna prove anything. So I'm gonna have to change something afterward. Okay. Now let's go with left. U element. Let's create a new constructor. Public. U element. Boom, nothing. Oh, and now I can delete that. It does get called on its own. Oh, I didn't know that. So I can do all the housekeeping. I was literally doing some stuff for nothing. In other words, that's a good learning lesson. Okay, that actually means that I have some errors in some of my code, I think. Let's look at that. Oh, there's no error. Because I did not define. Okay. So if instead I define... This is an abstract class. Maybe that's the reason there's no problem. Public, pro. And if I do string okay, now it's an error. Okay, so I actually did not have any error, but I learned something very valuable right there. It's gonna make my life a lot easier. I mean, this is all common object-oriented programming, but I haven't paid attention to that for like a long time. Oh, the I mode though. Mode. What about that? Yeah, so there's no constructor here either. Yeah. I'd have to tell that to my young self. Okay, now that we're back in business. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, this saves me a lot of code. This was all giving me a headache. Literally did not sleep last night because of this useless code. Hey, you cannot underestimate the power of highlighting. You might be right. Actually, you are right. Okay, well, the reason I'm keeping it there, even though it's useless, is because eventually I will want something in the constructor. So it's just like placeholder, even though it's not really needed. But eventually, like this top panel, I'm gonna have more constructor, like more stuff, like whatever I put there. So I'm gonna have to rewrite that anyway. But like all this code, I was writing this in all my constructor. Because like, yeah, I thought I couldn't, I thought this constructor was getting ignored, but it's not, it's actually called every time. Even though it wasn't explicit. Okay, what was I doing anyway? I want to create a button. In other words, from my UI system, button, yeah, so inheritance is like really cool. I mean, it's cooler now that I realize that the constructors are called, and then like you need to make it explicit with base. Ta-dum. Ta-dum, ta-dum. You're pretty new. Ta-dum, ta-dum, ta-dum. Okay, I'm not done, I guess. Hi, parent. The button is part of the U element. Double wrecked. Oh, you timed them out? Wait 1 sec, I'm gonna fix that. Okay, you should be able to chat again. Yeah, you have entered the Nazi mod stream. Oh, you're right. Add child. Oh, so all of those are like useless. Yeah, yeah. Ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-da-bum, ba-da-dum, ba-dum. You know what? Fuck that. I'm copying this code from there. Oh, I don't need to have this code actually. There you go. Public override void draw pride batch. Let's go. What did I do in those other ones? I call base draw. There's also update. Oh, this is arguably a mistake. If I'm calling base draw, I'm not actually copy pasting code. I'm copy pasting the layout of the code. It's different. Okay, draw. Okay. Okay, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, a button. How does a button look like? No, you did not. Yeah, square with text, exactly. But since I'm not using an actual layout manager, everything is gonna be okay, get top, get width, get height. Then I take my get left and get top. Those are gonna get changed. Ah, shit. Layout manager again. Layout manager. You're on a device. You're using your phone. Parent dot get left plus offset dot x. Wrong. You're not using a phone. How are you not using a phone? It's 2017. A laptop. Parent dot get top. Maybe I'll want something fancier, but for now this is fine. Okay, give the parent and then give an offset vector to I offset. Did we? I'm tempted to say yes. Hey, the truth is, I didn't want your money. So I said phone because I knew you weren't gonna be using your phone. I mean, who am I to take your money? So I just assumed, well, what could he not be using right now? And then I said a phone. So yeah, you're welcome. Okay, now this is gonna be the fun stuff. I'm able to add a button to my right panel. There you go. Let's add that. Right panel that add child. And then I can do new button. And I give you the right panel as the parent. And a new vector 2. Oh, I need to give you the size. Okay, whatever. For now, there's no size. Wait, I need the size. Button. Ah, shit. Size. Int width, and height. Offset. No text. This is actually not a button. I'm gonna rename that later. Actually, it could be a button. You're right. This is a real button. Why am I even... And then I override get width. Yeah, I read. Get. Return. Width. Height. Return. Height. Okay, and I'm gonna do public override int get right. This is gonna be return parent at get left plus int offset dot x plus width. Okay. Bottom, get top. I knew there was a mistake. I was like trying to find it. Okay. Okay, now I can pretty much be done. Okay, now I need to give you the right constructor. Oops. I called width height. Let's make it 50. I could also just pass in rectangle. Maybe that's what I should do. Oh well. 50. Just to make it obvious, 70. Let's go. We banned for subscribing. If you write in chat you're banned, it's over. How long is it to compile something? I'm gonna die before this happens. Come on. I barely changed anything. Give me some. Mine? Or yours? Where's the button? All right, you won't. Actually, you probably could see it, but I kind of kept it the same color as the panel. You're blue, not black, blue. Life in the Trenches. This is a pretty fitting music. Oh, the button is there. Oh, I'm gonna have to fix that. How awesome. Okay, now if I want to give it like a slight offset. uh, mm. 20. Let's remove the transparency. And while I'm thinking about it, let's go into the top panel and left button, mouse. If mouse is bigger than, so it's no longer 0. It's get top and get bottom. But we also want to make sure that it's new mouse.x is bigger or equal to get left, and new mouse.x is smaller or equals to get right. Okay, nice little code there. Well, technically there's no right or wrong answer. And if I start to use a rectangle, it forces me to create a rectangle. Look at that, it's a nice little button. It gets drawn perfectly. For the sake of argument, I can now... okay. Boolean is hovered, something like that. Equals false. If new mouse dot x is no, not right. I have is inside. New vector. New mouse.x, new mouse.y. If is inside is hovered equals true. If how did I do that? That would work also. Oh, that must have been the way I coded it. I was trying to remember how I coded it earlier. But yeah, this is inside would work. Boop, boop. Okay, so this works. Boop, boop, boop. I was like, I know this is like wrong, but I couldn't remember how I coded the other version. Okay, fuck that. There you go. Well, I don't really need to do a rectangle because I already have this function which does exactly the same thing. Oh, that closed two things. Okay. So now I have a nice little... It does. I'm not using an abstract class because this U element is actually also what I'm gonna be using for my panels. Where is it? I use it for as a container. So like right here I'm creating a container and then I'm adding everything to the container, and then when it's time to update I just call update on the single container, and this handles updating everything. And when I want to draw I just do container draw, otherwise I'd have to draw everything manually. But just calling draw is enough, because all it does is a for each, and then it draws all its childs. So when I do add child, I'm adding it to the list, and then I'm looping through the list and drawing everything. So it's like very minimal, like it's the smallest amount of work required to do a UI pretty much. And it's not gonna be slow, because I mean, how many childs are there ever gonna be? And how much childs are the childs going to have? Like, it's almost nothing. Like at most I'm gonna have what, 20 things on the screen? Maybe more, maybe less, but still. Even 100 would not matter. The naming. I mean, at the end of the day, an element is something that can hold itself. That's pretty much what it is. So it's a recursive data structure almost, but like it has fancy stuff like how to update, how to draw, and it draws its child. And then it has a bunch of functions: get left, get up. So all that I'm doing is when I create a button, I'm like taking all that's already been coded, which is nice, and then I do my own stuff. I can add but like overall the same stuff. Like, yeah, like in this one I define it. I define the width by right minus left, but in the term of a button, unless I want my button to be responsive. Yeah, pretty much. So this one doesn't get drawn at all. So when you don't implement it, it's just a blank thing that draws everything. So it's returning 0 by default. But like when I'm gonna start to... so yeah, for this one it doesn't matter. If I look at like the yeah, you're right. I could make it an abstract class and then implement an actual container. That could be an idea. But I'm not actually sure like what's the point. So like for this one, Like this one is hard-coded to always be the size of the screen. So when I, yeah, it's more correct. But I mean, can I even agree with that? That it's more correct. It's kind of hard to say. Like the more correct way has more code. And it makes like an interface that's... Like one example where I use an abstract class would be this. I created a growth seed. So this is an abstract class. And then it has all its things. There is some code that's implemented. Yeah. So this code that's implemented is something that's gonna be shared by everything. And then I started to create a growth seed circle. And then this thing has all its things. Implements all... So this thing here doesn't implement draw at all. It's just an abstract. So there's a bunch of things. Is inside is not implemented. Because it depends. Like if you're inside, depends on it. Like the circle is different from a rectangle, for example. So yeah, in this case, it made sense to makes sense to make a growth seed, because the goal was that both of those things, like the rectangle and the circle, would be part of, like they would be one of that. I'm not really explaining it well, but anyway. So in this case, I'm not creating a growth seed. I'm just like implementing it. But in the case of a UI element, it sort of makes sense that it's not an abstract class. Because the U element is actually just the base of everything. And I don't think it's wrong to implement it like as a container, for example. So while everything is gonna implement that, it's not wrong to also implement some base stuff. And anyway, like this function is like really useful for containers. But like everything else that's not a container can re-implement it and not have that. Or like in the case of my left panel, for example, this one draws itself and then it draws its children's just by calling base draw. So it's arguably like a correct way of doing it. Okay, buttons are gonna by definition not have a width, but they will have a height. Or will they? Or do I want to define a ratio? Yeah, they're not gonna have a width, but they're gonna have a height. Okay. So get right, I'm gonna have The concept of a margin instead. Int margin. Hmm. No, I'm not actually thinking about what I'm writing right now. I'm thinking about how do I... Because right now this is going to be coded with the assumption that you're inside of a vertical panel. In other words, I'm thinking of the code. Let's say I have a panel that's vertical. And then I add a bunch of buttons. And I want the buttons to fill the maximum amount of space horizontally with a margin. The little margin that's I'm gonna be defining, which is gonna be equal on both sides. Then I add more buttons. And then the way to know vertically where the button is gonna be with something that I have, it's an offset. Okay. So like the offset gets changed, and then that's how I'm gonna get the vertical location. Now, let's say I have the other way. A panel like this. And the whole point is that they don't like mix. A button that's vertical or a button that's horizontal doesn't mix. And then in this case it would be different. So I guess I can rename this to like a vertical button, V button or something. I want my whole system to work without like an actual layout manager. Every component is aware of itself. So that's why I'm doing those sort of decisions. Like every component is aware of the way it's going to be used. Exactly. In my system, the child decides. In this case, the child, the V button, is aware that it's inside of a container, a sort of panel that we call it sometimes. I mean, I'm not sure if my definition of a panel is the same as other people, but whatever. So the panel is aware of like where it is on the screen, and then the button is drawing itself relative to the panel. So that's why, like in my code, I'm saying like get left is the parent's left plus my offset, but I'm gonna change that now that there's the concept of a margin. V button, there's a bunch of errors. Oh, because I removed it. Okay, get width. Width is now the same as the parent, like the real, so this is not needed. Return height. So yeah, there's nothing that stops a component from drawing on the whole screen. So like every component is able to draw everywhere. Yeah, exactly. But the code for the width is coded by... Oh, you're right, actually. Get right, get left. Okay, no, exactly. So it's gonna call get right minus get left. And then I'm gonna code get right and get left correctly. So now there's no longer... so in a vertical button, there's no longer the concept of an offset like that. It's get right minus my margin. Same thing here. So this is gonna be get left plus my margin. So get top is gonna be parent top plus my offset. And the offset is what is gonna determine where I am vertically. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to rewrite that later, but for now it's gonna work. Get button is gonna be offset Y plus height. Exactly, but not exactly. Since this is an object, it calls UI element, and then everything that I don't implement, it steals, literally, it steals the code from here. So now I didn't implement get width, so it steals this, but it still used the get right from here. So if I look at here, get right, there's actually, it knows that it's getting called from U element. So it's kind of like weird, but I find it so cool that I'm using it. Yeah, exactly. So it uses the new get right, even though the function is defined in here. So yeah, it's like some sort of three-dimensional thinking. But I think like it's so cool that it's the way it works. Get top. Yeah, it's really useful. I learned that like yesterday or something. Get button. I get the top plus offset plus the height. That appears to be true. Okay, now I no longer have offset. Int offset. This is now an int. In other words, no more casting. There you go. Oh, you're right. I define the offset. So maybe I don't want to define offset here. But I kind of do. Okay, I need to rethink this. So it's not really an offset anymore. Yeah, this works outside of my current system, which is bad. Okay, undo everything, put it back to an offset like this. Okay. But now this, I'm only using the Y offset. In other words, equals, let's do this, vector 2. And then you're gonna get offset Y, but 0 on the x-axis. This is almost like hacking, but I don't think I care. Okay, what do I give you? I give you the height and a margin. Oh, it doesn't exist, that's why. So the height is gonna be 50 and the margin is gonna be 20. Position. Position. I kind of like that. I'm guessing you're talking about this. Okay, instead of the 0. No, because the offset is relative to the component. Let's just make sure. Yeah, this is a constructor that puts it at 0, 0. So every offset is relative to yourself and not to the screen. That's how I decided. What's wrong with here? Okay. And let's do the same thing you said. Let's put a text in here. So just margin. Well, technically, the button takes the whole vertical, the whole area. It's just that it draws itself closer. No, I think it's 0 anyway. I mean, it obviously depends how you want to look at it, but I think the offset is 0 on the x-axis. Anyway, technically it doesn't get used, so it doesn't matter. Like it's the assumption with the vertical button is that the 0, the offset x is not used. So I put it at 0 just because I want it to be 0. But like in the code here, I'm not even using it. I could be using it, but since I know that it's always 0, by definition, I'm not using it. So it's a fake optimization or something. Let's try it. I'm saying make it a size of 50 and a margin of 20. And it appears to be working. Now if I add a second button, 3 buttons. Now this vertical thing would have to be, okay, I'm doing it manually, but I'm gonna have to change that. 12. Oops. I'm right? 7? Yeah, exactly. Okay. So now I have 3 buttons. $20, 90, and then plus 7. Yeah, that's the next question. How do they know? Yeah, right now it doesn't decide the vertical position, but I think that's bad. Yeah, yet, exactly. Oh, and let's just try to make the panel bigger. Map editor, this is added to the right panel. Yeah, I think that's bad. It's sort of... minus 100, let's do minus 200. Dun, 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 dun. Da, 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 da. Boom. Okay, well the other guy doesn't get drawn based on the other panel. That kind of sucks. Yeah, this minus 200 is kind of annoying. Oh, and the bottom needs to be changed too. So yeah, the timeline resized itself correctly. Okay, for now it's hard-coded, but I need to fix that. This is fun. Oh, what? Okay, it works. And the game is always able to stay inside of the panels. Okay, make a vertical button list that will have an add button. You know, that would be interesting. Okay, there. No, actually, this is interesting. Because I'm thinking even bigger picture. Eventually, I want to make, but it's not gonna be a button anyway, so it doesn't matter. Eventually, I want to make a component that's like a preview of the current level. Yeah. Like, eventually I want this to show levels, this sort of panel. And then I want to be able to click on a panel and drag it to switch it to a different position. Yeah. So then the button is gonna get switched. It's not a button though, it's a preview. So maybe buttons should be aware of their position in the list. Yeah, list of UI elements. I might just want to Here's the thing. I want my panels to not worry about what's inside of them. But I want what's inside of them to be aware of how they are used. So in other words, if I put like a preview element, that element is aware that it's inside of a panel. But the panel is not aware of what's inside of it. That's the way I'm thinking of this. So it allows for some very dynamic components that do exactly what they're supposed to do and nothing more. Because right now, for example, those panels, they're aware of like this. Okay. Let's say I create 3 new buttons, but I add them to the left. Did I do that? What benefits does it have? Did I mess up? Left adds that. Oh, I'm adding it to the right panel. Okay, well, it's added to the left, but they think the right is the parent, so they're all. So what does this? What benefit does it have? I had an answer for that. I forgot. Boom, and now I have those 3 buttons. What's the business the benefit? Why did I want to do that in the first place? That's a good question. I think the reason was because when something resizes, like let's say I have a way to resize a panel, then when the panel is resized, it needs to update everything inside of it. By having it the other way, I don't need to update anything because everything else is always trying to fit like what it's inside of. Like it allows for some smarter components. So instead of having really dumb components, instead of having some really dumb components that are not aware of anything and that are managed by the parents, I end up with some smart components that are aware of what they're doing, sort of. So when you modify something, they adjust automatically instead of having to update everyone recursively. I think that's the advantage. Like when I resize the window, boop. Normally when the window resizes, I would have to notify to do an update. Update everything on the screen to resize. But with something smarter, like with something that always checks for like the window size, then it's always using the window size. So it always updates itself. Poop. So it allows me for some really responsive code. But in normal UI frameworks, the child is always aware of its parent. Let's go check.
And metal shall prevail. For we know what they have done. 5 legends of our realm who sought to follow the path of their dark.
Let's look at that button.
What they did not know,
Implements J component.
To kill. To these
Get
creatures,
parent, like you see, they have a get parent from component.
to do. Heavy metal.
So I think it's just normal for parents to be, like for children to be aware of their parent. What? Big object that should not be serialized with a button. Like if I do it where the button doesn't use parent, it means that to get top I need to have a local variable that holds this top value. And then when it changes, let's say the window gets modified or the panel changes, then I need to update this value somehow. So instead of like having an update, I just grab it directly. That's the big difference, I guess. Now, I kind of want to remove this offset too, offset Y, so that the component like places itself at the right spot. But I can't really do that because then you need to be aware of the size of everything. Because if this one is 50, but the second button is only is like 100, then your offset gets changed. Yeah. For now, I'm adding it manually. And how do I code get height? Get height is the height. But this height is what I pass. Plus height. Okay, so there's no margin to the height. Yeah, so the parent is gonna have to manage the vertical. So like a vertical panel, like I'm still in the wrong file. A vertical panel, like right panel or left panel, those are gonna have to have an add component, like add U element. So in other words, this panel is aware that stuff inside of it is stacked vertically. I might have to have a set offset here. Public virtual void set offset. Okay. Now I can remove offset from here. There you go. Check that. Okay, left. I'm gonna delete that for now. Okay. Public override. No, not override. Public add. Add child. But I need to actually virtual. Override add child. What's wrong? U element child, and then I can do child.set offset. Perfect. The offset is gonna be okay, int child offset equals 0 for each alright, U element yeah, the base is gonna be called here. Base.add child. Did I do that? There you go. So now I can do child c.offset y. Okay. That's actually a float then. Get height. So the height is gonna be the height plus the margin times 2. There you go, and then get width, that's pretty much the same, right? Okay, the margin doesn't go there. Yeah, the height is passed, but it's not the real height. The real height is the height plus margin times 2. So I'm asking the button to be this height, but the actual real estate size is that. No, I'm not. I think it's gonna work. It's just that now when I draw it, there's a margin. Okay, actually, here I can do a public.
I am a robot.
Thanks for the follow. Yeah, there are margins. So I'm gonna have to have like get int button left or something. Maybe eventually I'm gonna push that down to the U element and add the margin idea to everything. Maybe. Oh, I made a mistake there. Okay, and this the right is not required. Yeah, the reason is because I need the actual height of the button, like the height without the margin. I'm also gonna need public, and the reason I need that top button return get top. Okay, is there a margin on top? Did I originally have a margin in here? I forgot. Well, we'll see. Okay, now I'm able to do child offset plus not that c dot get height. Zero dot child offset. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so the margin. I have a memory blank now. Get right. Okay, so now the get right. Okay, so public in get button width. Oops. Get button top plus margin. I might just make this be standard stuff. Okay, now I need to fix the mouse. Yeah, I do. I'm making this standard now. Okay, so get left is just the parent's left, and the button left is the left plus margin. So yeah. Public int margin. Margin equals 0. So by default, that's what it is. Public virtual int how do I call that? Margin left. Return get left plus margin. Hey, you'll see, this is actually gonna work. This is actually really good too. This is gonna make for a very powerful system. Margin right. Get margin bottom. Okay, is inside is now based on get margin left, margin right. I might rename those later, but I don't care. Okay. Oh, right, I forgot the width and height. Public virtual int get decorator pattern. I forgot. Return get margin right minus get margin left. Too complicated for me. I want something that doesn't require to think too much. Like when you try to use this, you don't think, you just understand what's going on because there's barely anything hidden. The whole point is that there's no layout manager, there's no there's nothing in your way. Like your component works exactly how you think it is. There's nothing special. Obviously margin, maybe I'm gonna have to eventually have a margin top, margin bottom, I'm not sure. Margin side, yeah, vertical. Did I mess that up? Oh, what? Get margin width? I think that's similar to what I have. Oh, okay, I see what you mean, actually. That could work. A sort of element that takes an element, and then that draws. That could work. But it does exactly the same thing that I'm doing without having to use a second element. So essentially what you're saying, I'm integrating it right away. Now I don't understand what's going on. Oh, did I do that? I put plus. Oops, minus. Can't believe I did that. I guess I copy pasted it. Yeah, that's the reason. Woo! Okay, what? I thought I fixed that. Get margin left. What's going on? What? Get margin left. And then get margin left should call my left from here, no? Yeah, it does. What's going on? It's literally adding the margin. Or there's no margin yet? Margin? I don't get it. Oh, and now it makes sense to get rid of height. Oh, the height is wrong. Okay, so it's right, but the bottom is wrong. Okay, the bottom is wrong. It does? No, it's perfect. It's the get margin bottom that doesn't work. Get bottom minus margin. Plus height. This is the mistake, I don't get it. Get bottom. The bottom is not good. There's a mistake in this. Because it doesn't use the margin, maybe. Ah, that's right. It's the plus get height. Now this is good. Yeah. I think that's good. The margin, what the margin does is it removes some space. So the bottom needs to not have the margin, but this height has the margin. Well, essentially it's the height without the margin. Okay, no, this is the height with the margin, and what I need here was the height without the margin. Yeah. But for some reason it feels like it was 1 pixel off. Or maybe more than 1 pixel off. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of backwards. No, I think it's fine. It's pixel perfect as far as I can notice. It's kind of hard to see, but like right now, am I on it? Am I off or is this working? The black is like messing up with my eyes. I care. If it's wrong, it means the math is wrong. Yeah. Like for this one I could code like public override int get margin bottom return get margin bottom get margin top plus height. I can do that. Yeah, it's right. I don't think there's a mistake. I think it's just the way the mouse looks. Yeah. And like you said, like who cares? I don't anymore. Okay. I did, then I don't. So, do I use... Hello, Mugjo plays. I guess I am, in a kinda sort of way. I'm doing something so dumb right now, and so yeah. Like, literally like brainless. Literally like kill myself right now because it's so dumb. But once it's done, it's gonna be nice. No, I don't want to change everything. Just wanted to change some. Okay, that works. I'm creating UI, but I decided to just create my own. What game am I making? Okay, sorry. So eventually the game is gonna look like this. So the idea of the game is that you're about 200 to 300 feet in the air in some sort of big jungle. So you're in some sort of really big jungles, and your goal is to control an alien bug across some sort of terrain. Oh, I read the question backwards. I'm making it with monogame. Yeah, so it's pretty much Xene, but monogame. If you know, you probably know it. Anyway, since you're asking that, I'm guessing you don't know the game yet. So that's the game. You're pretty much navigating through the world, trying to beat these sort of puzzles. You're presented with some volcanic explosions, and then you need to figure out how to cross. So it's a lot of it where you're trying to find the safe spots. Yeah, that's actually the game art. This here, there's no art. I'm gonna enable. Oh shit! I looked away for a sec. Perfect. So sometimes you need to dodge stuff. Like essentially, you can't just go straight, walk in a line. Ripstream. Oh, you're right. Oh. Am I back? I think I think it lagged for like a couple sec. What happened there? Oh, it's still lagging. I'm dropping massive frames. I'm sort of back. Like right now. Oh, shit. Hello? Right now I'm back. No, I'm... There's no way it was my game. I seem to be back right now, but... maybe it was the game. Am I back? I think I'm back. Yeah. Except my brother is gone right now. Okay, so this is the in-game music. Okay, why am I making it with mono game? I don't know. I thought it was fun. I used to like XNA, even though I think I had only used it once. Wait, you're right. Am I crashing?